Welcome to another episode of Discussions with the Boys.
I say come on,
Yeah.
come on, body,
Yeah.
push your body, come on, body, come on, body, come on, body. Who that check? Who that check?
And on this episode, I'm with
Kola the Ryder.
Exactly.
Kola the Ryder. You probably see me on your screens.
Hell yeah.
And I'm here again today.
Our upcoming artist, soon you'll be on the big screens,
Yes, sir.
most definitely.
Yes, sir.
Because, bro's been putting in the work. I'm a testament to that. Hell yeah. So yeah, man, we'll be seeing him the big screens. You guys will be seeing him on the big screens. But today you're seeing him on Discussions with the Boys. So, Kola, tell us more, a little bit about yourself, man.
I mean, like you said, I'm an upcoming artist, fast rising artist. I like to say fast rising artist.
Oh, beautiful.
Kola the Ryder from Lagos, growing up in Lagos. So you already know that the energy day.
Exactly. That Lagos fire, innit?
Got a lot of dope projects coming up. Big vibes.
Big vibes for 2025.
Yes, sir.
Solid. Excited, ready to listen to your music. I already listened to a lot of them. Among the ones that are out there, Mia is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty chill vibe.
Your body calling a lot too.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name of that other one that's my favorite right now.
Yawa.
But yeah,
Yawa.
Yawa.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, you guys did when he drops it, man. You see the reason why it's my favorite.
That's a drop.
Everybody non-stop. Scatter your head like a rasta. Telling me like the cancer. Take a shopping on the rara video.
Yeah, Kola is your Yoruba, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
He already said it's from Lagos, On Discussions of the Boys, our main goal is having discussions that at the end of the day would kind of impact in positive light or positive way or positive thought or aspect or just something that would kind of instill positivity into our listeners, right?
Yeah.
Kind of begin to think of a better way. Would I say to start thinking of ways for solutions to our problems as Nigerians instead of pointing fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we've pointed fingers for years, man. Fuck.
No, we have.
Oh, fuck that shit,
Yeah.
man. We've pointed fingers for
At this
years.
point, it's about not even pointing fingers again, Because honestly, man, Nigeria is all about survival.
Bro.
It's all about survival. Nigeria is a place of survival. If you grow up in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere.
Anyway, that's why we literally make it everywhere we go.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's a curse and a blessing at the same time.
Yeah. Where I come from, see that place they call Lagos,
Yeah,
bro. Energy is different.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody in Nigeria, even whether you grew up in Lagos or not,
Lagos.
you've heard about Lagos.
You know,
you know what I
too
mean?
much about Lagos.
It's but yeah, in that light, in our previous episode, we were trying to, start from behind, right? To try to see if we'll be able to dissect and find out what happened, right? To maybe have a better understanding, to know if what we're doing right now is the right thing.
As Nigerian.
Yeah, as Nigerians, or exactly, as Nigerians in general, to know if what we're doing right now is even if we're just wasting our time. If our government is already sold to the point that this conversation we're having is just worthless. I feel like some people out there that are listening to us believe that already.
Yeah.
I've heard it multiple times from people, even people that I'm close to, family and friends, say that Nigeria is basically gone and there's nothing we can do about it. And I just don't want to believe it.
I mean, honestly, I get that, right? I get that. I get people thinking that, but I don't believe that either. The thing right now is, obviously, we need to fix Nigeria. We can't wait for Nigeria to fix us. That change will come with a lot of discomfort,
Bro.
but we need to fix it. We can't just be celebrating the fact that we're surviving despite being Nigerians anymore. We need to actually demand it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. That's something we need to demand more.
Yeah.
Because we as Nigerians, we don't know. We just keep accepting the bare minimum. We keep tolerating. How much longer can we tolerate for how much more pressure can we tolerate and for how long more? Bro, there's so many countries out there that when I hear their stories, their origin, the way they got developed, I'm like, these people have little to nothing compared to what we have.
Exactly.
And the speed and rate and how high they are growing to is so interesting to me that I believe that with what we have, we can do that even faster. But the only key thing that is the binding factor, or like what the main thing that would actually lead to that is if we as Nigerians can come together and have a one mind, like have one mind, like one heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something that we don't have.
You know what it is, bro?
What?
all these countries, right?
Yeah.
There's always this crazy event that is a turnover period.
Yeah. Okay.
And it might be uncomfortable. A lot of times it's wars, it's bloodshed.
Right.
It's someone saying, no, this person is not going to do this thing.
Yeah.
This person is not going to come into power. It's always this crazy event that the world is looking at it as like, what's going on in this country?
Yeah.
10 years later, that country is where we're saying we want to be right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be us being angry.
It's actually, it's crazy that you said that, right? Some crazy event that would lead to that.
Yeah.
Right? We had a conversation in one of our episodes.
By the way, awesome first episode.
Appreciate you, man. But yeah, man, bro, we recorded that thing since October of 2024.
Bro.
It's crazy. October 6th. Bro,
Still
editing and like, I don't know, it just took so long. But appreciate you. On one of our episodes, we were talking about how after the first election that happened in Nigeria, that it was so rigged and so in our faces that it was so bad, basically.
Yeah.
1960, right? The elections, some people will be like, oh, we'll win no matter what. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Type of thing that happened in 2023.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine that being the first election Nigeria was having as a nation, and that was happening. Did you understand?
Yeah, I get
after being under control of Britain for how many years? Over a century.
It kind of makes you think, bro, that the corruption is ongoing in that sense. Like, we just came from under the guidance of a developed system. And the first thing we do with our first election is that.
Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take?
Question yourself, how did these people that perform the rigging then know what rigging is and all that stuff? It's things that they've learned from people, right?
From them,
right?
People.
Exactly. Facts. And they use that
heavy on that stuff
to basically play with our country. You know what I mean? If these people can do it, we can do it. You know what I mean? And this is our time to do it. If we don't do it now, we'll miss the opportunity to do that type shit. But they did not know the consequences of what they were doing then. They didn't know that, maybe they thought in the head, we'll just do it and we'll be successful. You know what I mean? That's it. Maybe, so I'm just saying, maybe
open like a door for that mindset, just that corrupt.
They didn't know now. That would now be the status quo.
Yeah.
So now, which leads to my second thought. Do you think that was what led to the first coup that happened in Nigeria by strong military men?
I think so. You know what I think so, bro? Back then, early on, the coups were actually purposeful. Like, the coups were from genuine places. Like,
when else had they done that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is the first time. So everything's happening from the bottom of their heart.
Somebody do nonsense. And like, this person is effing up.
You know what I mean?
This person is doing nonsense. And we're not going to.
In 1966, the first coup. After these two elections have happened, 1963.
Did this guy, Murtala, MK Obiola, was he a coup? Did he come to?
I think it was an assassination.
Okay. Yeah. But he was in the military at some point for sure. So now, what I think is, like I said, the coups were from a genuine place. Like, it was from a place of, this is going wrong and we're stepping in.
Right.
Which is what a coup should be anyways. The first ones.
So now, which is exactly, you know, what like you think cool, right? So my thought now is, don't you think that first coup was as a reaction to, like, let's say the thing that happened in 2023, right? Yeah. The election that, everybody. Who did you even support?
This last election?
Yeah, the last election that happened in Nigeria.
Honestly, the way I was thinking at that time, I didn't go too hard into anyone, but I knew Peter Obi was
a good candidate, right?
And I'll be honest, I let the things I heard about what Tinubu potentially could do, I let them get into me because I'm like, okay, if this guy can do that, he's intelligent enough to actually do that if he's gonna do it. Right. So for me, I was thinking it was not the best of both evils kind of thing. It was just either one that gets in. If done right, I'm good with it.
Sounds good, you know what I mean? Other than people that just did not have any reason to hate Peter, it just did not make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Someone that has a good resume. But that's by the way. Yeah. That first coup, I feel like if the way we were feeling after that first election, at least people like me though, I feel like most people felt like as if their elections were stolen, right? Yeah. You know, they're like, their rights were played.
They have the right to feel that way because so many things there was too many discrepancies, so many things were shady. So they have the right to feel that way.
And some people have the audacity to say that it's normal and that everybody rigs.
It's not.
Even Peter Obi rigs. And that we're complaining about.
That's the mindset.
Like, that's the mindset
that will keep people there.
Exactly.
If I see something and I steal it and I say, well, everybody steals, right? Then, bro, how is that helping? How is that helping shit? We're all gonna be thieves.
Exactly, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How you tell me everybody's rigging and then you expect me to be like, oh, okay. Everybody's rigging, man. So fuck. I'll just, like, fuck. Why am I even saying Street Obi is a good guy?
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Let him rig more. Let him rig more than
Next
them.
time we should rig
Yeah.
wants to win.
No, why would he let these people rig more than him?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Are we fucking kidding right now?
Facts. And that's the mindset that keeps us down. And the thing, honestly, bro, no matter what, right? I always like to speak as us. Even though everybody's going through different things, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's people struggling on a tough level. Everyone is struggling on
Bro.
a different level. But everyone is an us thing, right? So because it's an us thing, I'm always trying to deviate from the topics of Nigeria struggling. Even though it's a reality, right? And the reason for that is, bro, it doesn't change things. But even in this struggle, bro, we're doing crazy things. Our music, our fashion.
Bro.
Right now, bro, not so Nigeria, they lead globally right now.
Bro.
In terms of like trend.
Bro,
Right?
Nigeria is on everyone's lips.
Yeah, man.
People that have not heard of Nigeria before, they've heard of Nigeria. And now that they're hearing of Nigeria, it's good things, not more bad things. Before it used to be a lot of bad things, like back to back bad things, you know what I mean? But now it's good things.
Mm-hmm.
At least mainly music, right? Which is great. But bro, it's like I see we're now using that, like, okay, the growth is happening and we're ignoring the problems. Like,
Yeah.
we should be carrying the problems along with, we should be trying to figure out a solution to our problem along with the growth, or else we will just be one of these people that will
Rise on
pump and dump is what I want to say.
I'm not going to say that too. I know. You're a stock guy, right? So it's like trend.
Really?
Right now, we're literally facing the
Bro,
biggest
since
trend, right?
2022, since 2020, I would say maybe 2019, we've basically been on that uptrend,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we don't start trying to maintain that status as people that are on the top,
It's just gonna go.
it's gonna be very drastic, bro.
Because right now we're showing them that we're built different.
You know what I mean?
One person go, day one small apartment, record song is billboard worldwide, bro.
Just start from nothing, bam.
Boom, bro. Just
You know what
like
I mean?
that,
It's
bro.
very fun and exciting to see.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, bro, like, it could be me tomorrow type shit.
Literally, bro.
You know what I mean?
Literally, bro.
You know what I mean? All you got to do is put in the work, right?
Yeah, man.
So now, why are some people putting in the work in doing things that will make the country? You know, there's two types of Nigeria. There's Nigeria, the people, in my head, and then there's Nigeria, the country.
Nigeria's the mindset. I feel like you're heading somewhere.
Listen, Nigeria, the people, we're doing great. Nigeria, the country, bro,
Shambles.
we're in shambles.
Bro.
And it's like getting worse every day. Like, I'm laughing now, but it's fucking like, bro, whenever I reach out to any of my friends back home, it just keeps getting worse. The stories just keep getting worse. I still see people that ball. People will still ball. People travel, which is the beauty of Nigerians.
Of Nigerians, the people.
The people. Nigeria itself is, bro, there is still no light. In
Bro, that's the
2024,
craziest part.
and you're telling me that it's because of their paying
Somebody,
they increase
and no one can tell me otherwise. I know it might seem like an obvious point, but I need this to be stated again in case people have forgotten. Somebody is benefiting from us not having uninterrupted.
Bro,
electricity.
somebody is benefiting from the instability of Nigeria big time.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's some things that are no-brainers.
Bro.
Right? We can sit here now, I can tell you like 2 different things that can fix that light issue. But I'm not a politician. So they know this. You know what I'm saying? Bro, that lights
roads.
That lights one.
The most common shit. Roads,
Yeah, man.
bro. Roads.
It's the bare minimum.
Roads,
The bare minimum.
bro.
That's why I know somebody's
Roads,
benefiting
bro.
from that.
Roads,
You know what I'm
bro. Roads. Common roads, bro.
I feel like the people who can make the change would rather drive on that bad road than to actually do the bare minimum, which is fix the road.
Bro, they'll drive on the bad roads for how long?
Drive on
in
the
their,
bad
in their
road,
luxurious
yeah,
cars
and
that will
then
most probably absorb most of the gallop.
Yeah,
And like, bro,
It's
come on
crazy.
now.
It's
It's like,
crazy.
how can't you even want the bare minimum? And you think like, okay, let's take it like this, bro. Let's take it that you're a criminal and I'm a good guy.
I'm not a criminal, but
You know, he's not a criminal, guys. Let's take it that I'm a criminal and you're a good guy, right? What is something that, okay, obviously you do good things and I do bad things, right? And we obviously don't see eye to eye. You know that there's
What's
some
good,
things
what's
that we must always see eye to eye.
Mm.
You know what those type of things are?
Tell me.
If there's a good road, because if there's a good road and a bad road, you always want to take good road, right? Me now, I know that if I want to make money or if I want to rob people, I'll have to go to the bad road side. You know what I mean? and that's where I'll be. So, you know what I mean? At the same time, as a criminal, if I want to get somewhere quick, I want to get to somewhere in a good road, right? If we as Nigerians are saying that, oh, we want our country to be good, don't you think we'll have more good roads?
Yeah, like we would actually focus on things that affect everybody.
You understand?
Quite clearly.
Don't you think we'll have lights?
Yeah.
Don't you think we'll have like the basic necessities? I saw one ad, that guy that's on Instagram posts some things. You know, he posts people's houses, like houses that they're selling in Nigeria now for like millions of naira.
I think I've seen that on Twitter.
For no reason.
I think I've seen that on Twitter.
Yeah. Like you'll be comparing it to houses in America, which I even think even the houses is even comparing to in America sometimes. The location.
Not as good as the one in Nigeria.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But the location itself is probably the reason. You can find something like that in some other location in America and it's probably worth more. You know what I mean? But still, I get his point of view, right? That in our Nigeria, there's just...
I know what you mean.
The amount of... Some people will say is that they're using the wealth, that they're using the price of things to use it to, show power. At this point in our Nigeria, we need to stop that rubbish. I swear.
Stop trying to match.
We need to stop competing with each other.
Yeah.
We need to stop. We need to stop it. Every Nigerian needs to stop it. We do it too much. Too much. We carry it in the head. It's a big problem. I feel like that's one of the reasons why these politicians do what they do. That mindset is part of it. Because they want to do more than what their previous person have done. Think about it, bro.
Bro, imagine that, though.
Bro, think about this shit, man.
Imagine that. But I'm going to tell you, though, it's from a place of disrespect. Me, politicians, right? It's not just from a place of greed, it's from a place of disrespect. You know why I say that? Bro, look how big, we just spoke about Afrobeats music. Look how big Afrobeats is. Bro, Nigerian entertainment is the second largest export. As in, second largest, other than crude oil, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If knowing this, and this has been the case since I did my...
Since at least 2020,
bro. Which one? Exactly.
2020,
bro. Because I know I started looking into that shit when I finished my degree. 2020, bro. Since 2020, it has been that way. If something is your largest export, and I'll use an example, you don't respect it enough to now put into it. Let me show you how disrespectful they are. Davido is one of the biggest artists, right? Yeah. Bro, during NSAL, they were making jokes about, Davido's come and sing. That's how you see it. But I'm telling you that entertainment is the second largest exporter. What would you do if I tell you right now, this shit is hella profitable? What would you do with it? Refine it.
Make it bigger so that
even bigger.
We can profit from everybody.
So now everyone can profit. I can profit. Everyone can profit.
Everybody can profit.
So it's from a place of disrespect, right? Because intellectual property is Nigeria's second. But bro, the laws that are governing intellectual property in Nigeria are the same laws England brought in this. Bro, never been updated. Bro, they might have updated. I think they updated the trademark laws or something.
Some
copyright. Yeah, some things. Little aspects.
Some things.
Bro, do you know how many times UK has revised their laws since then?
Since
like
those are even for.
You know what I'm saying? They've revised their intellectual property law 4 or 5 times.
Bro,
since they gave us that law.
Not just that, man. But yeah, that's a huge point right there, though. That's a huge point right there. Like, bro,
our foreign counterparts can make a living off their art. We can do that, bro. We can fix that, right? Now, obviously, it's a plan. I have all that stuff in mind, but you're not going to come up with a plan like that with a country that is not even observing that, right?
Bro, I was having a conversation with someone about starting a company, a tech company, right? And the first advice this man is telling me is that we can't even do. Now, starting it in Nigeria is a very bad idea. Huge. And they're telling you that starting it in your own country is a bad idea. Why? Because your country doesn't have the amount of security. And
imagine having to think about that. Things like that are the extremes in other countries. The first thing you have to think about in Nigeria. Things like that, another country will be like, nah, why would that happen? Like,
just imagine that shit.
Why is that? Yeah, that's
from your own country. You want to start something.
Structures that are set in place. Why could that possibly happen? In Nigeria, that's the first thing you have to think about.
Bro,
someone breaking in to steal all your shit.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that we could have been having that problem 20 years ago. Not now. And now, it doesn't feel like we're making any improvements at all.
It doesn't, bro.
Like, if we're making any improvement, it's too little of an improvement.
Too slow.
It's like, bro, how can you drain a country? Like, how can you, like, bro, do they think we're idiots? The railway system that they built in Lagos, do you know how that's doing?
I assume poorly.
I don't even know, honestly.
I don't.
But since I've not really been hearing anything super fantastic about it, I guess it's just one of those things that our government will do. To be like as if they are doing something.
But I haven't heard anything bad about it.
But they're not doing anything.
Hopefully the lack of bad news is...
That railway should go around the country, if not to China, like Very Dark Man was saying. All right.
China is not too big for that, you don't think?
Too big for what, G?
National Railways.
Too big for what, G? Is it big for China? Do you know how big China is? Do you know how big Canada is?
In the UK.
You know there's a railway system.
I mean, obviously, it's not as refined as the UK's, but like it's still big.
Bro,
Still,
as long as there's a railway system that will take you around your
can
country,
always get better, right?
we don't even have something like that in our country.
I think it's just one state to one state or 3 states, right?
Is there any railway system at all that can even connect you to another state? I don't even know.
I think there's one. There's one from, is it Sokoto? There's one new one. It's pretty
okay.
fast, yeah. It's from Sokoto to one other place. I can't remember. Don't quote me. From somewhere in the north. to
Right.
Another place. It's pretty good, right? For that purpose, right? Obviously, I know what you're saying is it can be much better.
Bro,
right?
like they just do so little and expect us to clap for them.
Yeah, man.
That they are doing a great job.
But we have to even come out our minds. Like this is it's going to be harsh on us, right?
Harsh on us.
We have to remove our mind. We got to come out our mind from the idea of they need to do better. We need to start taking some sacrifices.
Bro, that is the exact point.
And not the people in Nigeria, stuff like no, the people that are struggling and in Nigeria right now, it's us, right? Let me an example. Big artists, they need to do something for that thing I said about intellectual property, refining and becoming better to a point where people can start making a living off their work,
Right.
including the small artists and the small writers. Those big artists need to do something. One, we need to lock in as a collective. No matter how big you are, do you care about the fact that people not as big as you are not making money off their work? If you do, then we need to lock in.
That's it.
They
bro.
need to take some
Do
sacrifices.
you know that?
Small sacrifices.
I feel
though.
like that
sacrifices.
mentality there. It's that mentality thing I'm telling
man.
you. It's that being on top and not wanting any other person to get to the top.
But that's an evil way to live. And
It is an evil way to
I'm
live.
gonna be optimistic and just hope that none of the major celebrities and major artists
I
feel
like that.
way. I'm gonna just be optimistic.
I'm afraid so too. I'm gonna be exactly. I'm with
Bro.
you, man. Maybe there are the reasons why Nigerian music is popping up the way it is right now. Maybe they're already doing something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I'm sure that someone like Don Jazzy is doing something.
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly.
See Don Jazzy, I love that guy.
Yeah, man.
bro.
That's a tycoon.
And then when he took Rema, bro,
Crazy. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, bro. Where with the benefit of refining intellectual property in West Africa and Nigeria, obviously Nigeria is the hub of Africa. The benefit of that is where we're making millions right now. We're gonna be making billions if intellectual property is refined. I'm telling you, bro. That's just that's all it is. Laws are put in place for the promotion or protection of something. And if those laws are in place for intellectual property, that's what's gonna happen.
Facts.
Where we're making millions, we're gonna make billions. Obviously, that sacrifice has to be made of actually putting time into it.
But when it comes to
For the
intellectual,
moment it turns
yeah,
around.
we're not just talking about music, bro.
It's
We're
music,
talking
it's
about
branding,
everything.
books,
We're talking about
technology,
science. We're talking about
patents.
technology. Bro,
You understand?
what has an Nigerian actually invented, bro?
Mhm.
Come on,
that we
bro.
know them for.
Do you
Because they're
understand?
doing it for other companies outside.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about innovation. We're
Exactly.
talking about invention.
You
Hey, my brains are not the biggest, you know what I mean? But
get it.
I feel like there's somebody out there that they just don't have the right tools or the right education, the right mentoring because of the situation of Nigeria. Now, wow. Yes,
Bro, you find, bro, it's crazy. Bro, I read somewhere one time that somebody put a book out. They wrote a book, published, and somebody else made more profit of it through piracy. Imagine that shit. Imagine I write a book right now. I make $5,000, and somebody that has sells pirated copies of my book makes $10,000.
Hey, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
That bust your head.
That's what piracy is about.
Crazy. So I feel like those kind of things now, yeah, like, oh, but people are making money from it right now. But now it applies everywhere. We take this small sacrifice, small dip in things, and get together and talk about how we're gonna make times 10 because of refining intellectual property. And another thing I'm gonna say, bro, like our minds now, I say our minds they colonize. You know what I'm saying?
It's modern day slavery.
It is, bro.
Literally, I've said that multiple times. We are in.
It's modern day.
That is
slavery.
why
Now the system.
the system.
First it was, and you know what's crazy? I feel like this is something colonizers do. And I'm gonna say this. Yeah, when it was okay for them to colonize, right? They were colonizing physically. They were in person colonizing. But when they leave a system that still colonizes. Do you know what I mean by that? So that system right
That's
now.
what
is
we're talking
colonizing us.
about. That's
right.
what is modern day.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. Modern day slavery, G.
And bro, when I look at it,
And I'm like, how did we then get our independence? How?
What's independence?
What is the independence if we're still paying you for
What's
how many
fucking
years?
independence?
What is that shit? You might as well just tell us
Yeah,
straight up that they're just deceiving us. Literally.
Yeah, man.
Trying to cripple our minds to not think about ways to challenge the decisions that have been put in place. That's how I see it. Now they've deceived us so that we think that we have a country of our own, but we don't have our country.
Have you seen this like experiment where so basically the idea a fish is in a small tank and you put the fish in a much bigger tank. Fish thinks it's free because of so much space, but it doesn't know it's still captive.
Right.
You think you're a free bird, you're just in a bigger cage. You have more room to fly.
Basically, you can say that's basically what they did. Maybe when we were under their rule. We had stricter rules, and then we gained independence, and it was less strict.
Like a puppet master, but with less strings. You give a few strings so the puppet can dance around a bit more.
But
and bro, that's honestly with my music. That's why I love to try and put heritage as much as possible. Because if you know where you're from, then you know where you're going. That heritage is important. One thing with Nigerians, the one thing that I love about Nigeria, our identity does not waver. Our identity, self-confidence, the energy that we bring, it does not waver. Now, we can apply that, applicate
in a lot of things.
in a lot of other things.
Yeah.
When it comes to turning up, you see one man chilling, he's doing the most.
Yeah.
We do our, we
It's almost like as if we prefer to turn up more, forget about more of our problems. We want to turn up more
coping mechanism.
than face our problems. That's what it has to be. It has to be a coping mechanism at this point. Because you can't tell me that people experience what happened in 2023 in 2020. There's a reason why I keep repeating the year whenever I say the year.
Because it's just 2 years ago.
Because if nothing happens, it will happen in 2027 and 2020, whatever, and continue to happen until what happens. Nigeria is a story of the whole. They're talking about how we were great at one time.
We was king.
They'll be saying that now Nigerians don't even like to identify as Nigerians anymore. Because it will get to that point, bro. It has already started getting to that point gradually.
It should never.
No, I want to tear my passport. Why? Because I paid. I went to fucking Ottawa to renew my passport. And what happened, bro? They stamped on my passport. New one, the new passport that I got. Cancelled without prejudice. I've emailed these people 5 times. Bro, what's up with the cancelled without prejudice? How far? What's this? What does this mean? How can I fix this? These people have not replied me since January, bro.
Cancelled without prejudice. What the fuck
does that mean, G? Explain to me. If you call Ottawa right now, it is going to be an automated system that will answer you, bro. It will go on for 10 minutes and the phone will hang up. This is what I'm saying. This is all the way from Nigeria. We're in Canada, bro. This is not a government thing. It's we, Nigerians. We are the problem. If we keep pointing at government, this so-called government, this ghost.
Bro.
This government ghost that everybody has been chanting since 1960. We keep trending till we are the country, Nigeria.
Stamp that.
It's not.
Stamp that, bro.
You feel me? The ghost government.
We're gonna have to do 70% to where it's like, okay, if they don't step in,
we will take that. Do you understand? We as Nigerians, we need to be better. Bro.
Yeah, man.
We need to be better. All these things like we come late, do all this thing, bro.
Living on the black man time.
Yeah, bro. All that shit. If we keep doing all that shit, bro, they will keep stamping on our heads. They will keep seeing reasons. They'll be like, how can these people be serious when you come for meeting and you're 30 minutes late?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious in wanting change? We as Nigerians need to be better if we want a way forward with Nigeria. If that doesn't happen, bro, we're just going to keep sinking.
Bro, we need drivers. Like I always talk about intellectual property. Anyway, you see me talking about Nigeria and what can make Nigeria better. I don't know much about oil. I don't know much about agriculture. Intellectual property, I know about that. We need drivers. Intellectual property is one driver. Bro, it's not even just about money, bro. It's about stability. So a writer in Nigeria is writing because of dreams, because of passion. That guy is not making money. But now where intellectual property and the refining of the laws, the reforming first and then refining of the laws that govern intellectual property comes is it becomes a driver to where you can actually now have financial stability from something you create as long as it connects. It's not no longer a thing of, oh, is my work protected? Am I going to get all the revenue I'm supposed to get? It's now just a thing of, okay, now I can just connect. I can just focus on it being good and it connect. You know what I'm saying? It will come from reform of the laws and to come from re-educating the people on what intellectual property even is. Because people don't even know what intellectual property is. People don't even know what rights they have in terms of copyrights, right? A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that anything you put out, any work you put out is supposed to not only feed you for the rest of your life, but feed your family for 7 years after, right? I know not a lot of people don't know that. It's just look at America, right? What our foreign counterparts can do.
It's because there's no confidence. Bro, like how will you know all these things?
A lot of people don't know. And that re-education needs to come. But who is going to come and re-educate people when even the government does not even care enough to sanction you re-educating them? You know what I'm saying? Imagine there being an organization that is in place to govern intellectual property, to do reforms, where people outreaches, teach people about the intellectual property right, teach people about what they could benefit from that. Nobody's going to come out and use their pockets to teach people things.
Exactly.
If I have money, I'm going to go put it in a business. But if the government sanctions you like it should, which is what other governments do, this happened with South Africa. This happened also, I think, Kenya or Ghana. I can't remember.
You know the reason why? It's because, I mean, it all comes down to the system that is fucked. It needs to be reformed.
They don't revere it as important.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the government will say, where is the money going to come from? You know what I mean?
Can't see it coming into other artists.
Exactly, because the country is so,
there's no reverence
so reliant on oil, bro.
Need multiple streams.
The country, that's why we're easily affected by currency exchange rates. That's why we're easily just like, bro, before I came to Canada, the dollar was still at 100 and something.
Bro?
Yeah, bro, 100 and something now. Like, as if they just press fast forward, like, so.
That fast forward was pressed hard because it's only been 3 years. Bro. I remember when I was in uni, because I did uni in the UK. I remember when I was in uni, bro, a pound was like 250. Or it got to 300 and we're like, yo, what's happening?
You know what I mean?
Bro, right now a pound is 2,000 naira, bro. I can't even do the math to tell you how much of it. Times two. That's crazy, bro. That fast forward was pressed very hard, bro. Very, very, very fast forward. Like time, you know when you do fast forward and you're impatient and you do times 4. That's really what it was, bro.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, shit, man.
But yeah, man. Bruv, I mean, shit. I don't know, man. I hope, we find a way to, I don't know. But that's the reason why we're having discussions with the boys. And I think with that, it's a wrap. We lost an hour.